And Los.
Lenny Peters Cup and High Point Autumn Rowing Festival presented by Bethany Medical. My name is Akil Abdullah, 2004 Olympian, and I am joined here with Alex Del Sordo.
Well, here's what's happening for people watching this live stream is that we have races going on all day long. Okay, there's about 87 races, and we're going to be watching and following just 10 of them. And we have one coming up, and this is the men's youth single. This is an event, Akil, that you know very, very well. You have a lot of experience in the single. I hate the single. It's lonely. It's in some types, it's scary. You can't blame anybody else if you lose. But who do we have here coming up in the men's youth single?
Yeah, so we have quite a bit of crews here in the youth single.
When we get up to the starting line, you're going to notice something.
Yeah.
Okay, what's happening right here that's not traditional in head racing? What do you see here?
So this is more reminiscent of what of the boat race or of the Harvard Yale race, where the athletes line up and all start at the same time, right? Normally in head races, as we said, you start one after the other, and so with this, we're going to see all of the crews start, and that's a little bit different because there's a lot of things that can happen over 4.8 kilometers. Right?
Oh my God! What advice do you? I mean, they can't hear you, but you know, a world-renowned single scholar like yourself, what would you be telling your athletes right before the start there?
Well, I would say that, you still have to race 4.8 kilometers.
It is so long.
So it's long, and so you can't get disparaged. You can't get down. You have to race your race. You have to have your race plan together, right? Because it's very easy with the single. Big moves can happen really quickly. And so you want to make sure that you're executing your race plan. If someone's going out fast, then, stick with your race plan. Maybe not let them get too far ahead. Maybe
So what is that distance? So at what point in a single race, where is too far too far?
Well, it's kind of tough with the head race. If they're out maybe like 5 or 6 boat lengths, that's a little bit too far.
Yeah.
You're going to have to put in a lot of work.
Because, as a single scholar, I'm just thinking you're rowing behind, you got to turn, constantly turn. So I guess when you lose them in your periphery, that's a little too far. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Now, what I love about single sculling, I have done it. Okay, I will say I've done it.
Yeah.
But when you get that lead, you're so much more relaxed. Everything slows down in a way. Did you experience that when you were racing?
I don't know. I was a bit of a jokester on the starting line of races. No one liked it. But I did it. I bet I did it anyway. It was more to get into their head. But I think that on the starting line here, you got to get those nerves settled. And you
brought that up so perfectly. The nerves. It's the calm before the storm. They are so worried right now.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you take that first stroke, boom, gone.
Yeah.
You just focus on your race.
And what I tell young athletes is that being nervous and being excited feel like the same thing. And here we go. We are off in the RP3 Youth Men's Single. We have this first flight that is out. We have the crews starting. Interestingly enough, you can see over here, we'll be able to get a closer look at the blades and be able to tell you maybe.
So setting it into rhythm, right? So you have see the center of the black boat right there. We're not sure who that is just yet, but it's like you want to get into rhythm soon, right? This guy, he looked like he was up closer to 38, 39 strokes a minute. Now you're starting to settle in that 4,700-meter race. Blade work looks good.
Yeah. It looks like that might be Augusta there. Just trying to tell from the blades that we're looking at here.
We talked about that. Okay, so the gentleman on the right here, going back about, 2 or 3 lengths.
Yeah.
Setting the rhythm. I love it. I love what I'm seeing right now. Straight course.
Yeah, so it looks like they actually had a couple of flights, but you were still starting from that dead start. So now you can see, in that race start, as we spoke about, where you actually go a little bit higher. You can see that little look over his shoulder there. You go a little bit higher in the race before you settle into your race rhythm, your base pace.
Now, okay, so there's some advantages and disadvantages here. You have the puddles, so every oar creates that puddle right there. And I know that in gamesmanship, you have coxswains constantly trying to get in front of the other boat, right? Because rowing in what we call the wash is it's a challenge. You don't get a full blade. You don't get the full power behind you. If you're a single sculler here at Kiel, are you trying to do that? Are you trying to put some of these guys in your blade, in your puddles?
I mean, you're not trying to. It's not a bad strategy, but I think that if you're doing that, you're focusing too much on what other people are doing.
On the wrong thing.
On the wrong thing. Like you want to race your race, and so it's interesting. I had a coach that once told me that like everyone else out there is a foil, and you're trying to use them to get to your best performance. And so here we are,
2 minutes in.
2 minutes in, and we can see that these young athletes have sort of settled in here.
I'm going to tell you a great story. His name's Greg Meyer. I think you know who he is. He was my coach at GW. So Wilkins was your coach back at GW, right?
John Devlin.
Oh, John Devlin was your coach. Okay.
Yep.
So Greg Meyer, his first year with us, he sat us down and said, the first 2 to 3 minutes of your race for a head race, your heart rate's not going to change. That's max effort. Just at that point, it becomes mental. Your body has already set into rhythm. And when you put that in perspective, you realize, like, I can handle this for 15 more minutes or 14 more minutes because the heart rate doesn't change all that much once you get past that 2 to 4 minute period. And it really changed the perspective of how I raced.
Right, and so off to the left there, you can see that is Patrick Pritchard from Augusta Rowing. It still looks like in the lead. I'm trying to see if this is one of the crews from Charlotte Youth Rowing, but we'll be able to get a little bit. A little bit hard to tell. But the thing that I was going to say is that we do have in here. I saw the name Seth Isaacson. I think I mentioned it before. I've seen him at Youth Nationals before, performing really well at a high level, and he is our sculler that has come out from Seattle to race in this race.
So I was in high school, 99, 2003 era.
Yeah.
There was never single sculling. That was not even an option for us back then. We used it as a training platform, but never really races. I love seeing what youth rowing and collegiate rowing has done, bringing the sculling to the competition. When you were racing at Wilson, I guess you never really had a chance to row in the singles.
Yeah, I raced into the 8, and the transition for me, 8s and 4s, and the transition to the single for me was actually a bit fortuitous. Here we go. Another great shot. You can see what I really like about what's going on here. We'll get back to me in a minute. But what I really like about what I'm seeing here is just like excellent blade work, just really nice and relaxed. What you want to see as a single sculler is just relaxation. And especially in these long races, as an athlete, you have to be relaxed. You have to be confident. And you really just have to be efficient about your style and your technique.
Yeah, I mean, it looks slow. From a wide angle like that, it looks slow. But there is so much going on here. I don't have a stroke coach on me, but where would you think their rhythm is at right now? How many strokes a minute?
I'm going to guess that right now that's looking like maybe about a 30 right now, maybe a little bit higher. Speaking of stroke coaches, we'll get that information for you.
I think we will get that information for me. Yeah, the rhythm looks fantastic with these guys. Now, it's really important. I would love to know and explain, like, what do you look at when you're a single sculler, right? You can't keep turning your head. So are you just constantly looking for a point on your stern just the whole time?
Yeah, and right now we can see there's a sizable lead here, but like what I do, and now they're rounding that turn looking for a yellow duck. But what you have is you choose your point and then you row. And then if you have to adjust, you take a look over your back and then you adjust a little bit more and choose your point. And so that's sort of what these athletes are doing. Right now it looks like they're trying to find that course. You'll see here if there's a little look over to just sort of see where your competition is as well. Nice work being done here. Sitting upright tall, getting the oars in. Nice execution there.
I mean, we're squinting, we're struggling, so I really want to know what these bow numbers are. I want to be able to talk more about the athlete coming down the course right now.
Yeah.
So I'm a parent. I have a 12-year-old daughter that has said she wants to join rowing, and we always joke that rowing is a tough one. As parents, you're how far away from the course. You have no idea where your child is. It's probably my only gripe in rowing that you really can't tell who's who until you get some data on the screen here. But the lead is unbelievable. All right, so we talked about this.
Right.
That's 8 or 9 lengths ahead, right?
Yeah.
So this guy has said, I'm taking this. This is my race.
Yeah, so there we go. We have 34.
And 40?
And 40 maybe. So 40's putting the pass on 34 there. And so looks like nice long strokes here. Once again, rowing along the shoreline. One thing you want to make sure of is that you don't hit anything. So, like, this is the tough part here, trying to figure out what your course is going to be so that you have a nice straight shot to that turn, to that big duck. And then I
can't wait to see this duck.
The duck, yeah. All right, here we go. Bow number 35 we have. And so that is going to be... Yeah, here we go. Seat bell number 35.
You have the technology in front. We have the technology to solve this.
We can
7.5 minutes in. I'm not quite sure if this is halfway or not. We can't see the meters here. Is the duck the halfway point of keel?
I'd say the duck is actually probably a bit more over halfway, because what you're doing is, for those, if you're looking back behind me, over by the pink duck, if you keep going down that way, that's where the start is. And so the athletes start at that point. Here we go. There's a great overhead shot. You can see the flotilla of the singles coming. We used to, on the Potomac, we used to call them the mosquito fleet.
Yes.
If you look at them just coming down the water. But this is a very iconic shot of the boats coming down, racing hard.
How much? So you have the power, you have smoothness in a single. How much? Where do you rank the course, right? So how you row your boat, right? You can lose a length pretty quickly, can't you, by getting off course?
Yeah. And so that's the whole thing. Like, the more that you obviously, when you're applying equal pressure, you're moving the boat maximally. Anytime you have to apply more pressure on one side, you're going to slow down the boat. So you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of turns. You minimize the amount of turns that you're doing. But right here, you can see these guys are all pretty much in a straight line. You can see with one boat out ahead here. And it looks like, they did a couple of flights. You can really see here.
Well, it's going to get sharp at that turn. You're going to start to get real tight. Like 4 or 5 of those boats here are going to kind of pinch at that turn.
Yeah.
Man, the guy in the lead right now, he's setting the pace. It's incredible.
Yeah, and so, like we were talking about earlier, one of the things that, physiologically and psychologically, what being that far out does is it gives you sort of a confidence that you have a buffer, right? So you have the feeling that you can maintain this lead. You have the ability to see all of your opponents behind you. And that's one of the things about that type of lead.
That's right, yeah. And we go back to the quietness, okay? You're the only guy in that boat, the only person in that boat.
Yes.
I'm thinking to myself, just hang on. Are there things that go through your head in this kind of race with 10 minutes in? What are things that you say to yourself when you're racing at this level?
Yeah, a lot of times, when you're in this position right here, when you're out in these head races, you can see it looks like he's just like taking a little bit of a move there, bumped up the rating a little bit, quick look around. You want to make sure that you are still in the race, right? These are long races. These are long pieces. But the fact of the matter is that these athletes train for these events, and they're prepared for what it takes to finish these races. And so right now, what you have to do is like, okay, I'm through the hardest part. I've got more of the race left, and I need to make sure that I focus and continue to stick with my game plan. The worst thing you can do is start to look out of the boat and say, oh, this person's making a move, and start to think about what other people are doing. So the hard part right now is to keep executing your race plan.
Yes, for folks that haven't rowed in a single before, you look to the right, you look to the left, you catch a little bobble on your oar, and things can go south real fast. Right, you can lose that rhythm, and you can lose that pace that you're in. I look at it like a metronome.
Yeah,
just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And here comes the duck. So this is exciting, Akil. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boats, all going for one spot on that turn.
Yeah, and a lot of people say this is where the rubber hits the road. This is where the rubber hits the duck right here. So hopefully we can see a turn being made here.
You've been holding on to that one.
It just came to me. It just came to me. Sometimes it does. So this is interesting. So with stake races where you have to make a turn, this is not a normal thing where you have to make these turns around these big obstacles and keep going in the race. So right now you can see out in the lead, we have this young athlete here. He's had control of the race pretty much from the beginning. He established a really good, solid lead.
He had the lead in the first 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But, when you make that turn, it does, going back to the rhythm, it disrupts your rhythm, right?
Yeah.
In order to get around that, he's going hard on starboard.
Yep.
He's dropping power in his left hand.
Yep.
And he's really bringing this thing around. Someone told me one time, it's not about the oar that you're pulling, it's the leg press.
Yeah.
Someone told me, press harder with the left leg.
Yeah.
And the boat will actually turn better. And I always thought you had to crank it around with your arms, but that's not the case. And I think he did a great job there.
Yeah.
And he's back at that rhythm again. And this is why he's in the lead.
Yeah. Excellent work on that turn. It's always, a lot going in there. You're thinking, do I cut it close? Like, what's my angle of attack into that big turn? And so these stake races are something that are different. It's a lot of fun, different format, as we spoke about. Fun is the theme of the day. And so what we'll see now is like there's, down around. We're going to come around. We'll see him coming in past the pink buoy and past the pink buoy, the pink duck and the yellow duck on his way.
And bow
to
33 is in the lead right now. Bow 33 in the lead, and I think he said bow 40 is close, not close behind. I mean, bow 33 has really made it clear that he wants that RP3.
Yeah,
and he wants to win this thing.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't spoken about yet. And here we go. Is that the RP3, it's such a great training device because there's different types of stationary on the water, on land rowing machines, and so with the opportunity to win one of these RP3s, it is such a great training tool.
And so I didn't have it growing up.
Yeah,
we didn't have it, and there's everyone sort of I think understands a concept too that's stationary. The wheel actually moves with you, correct? With the RP3?
That is correct. And so what that does is that rather than just having that, it requires a little bit more in terms of the rhythm and a little bit more of rowing. A lot of people think that in rowing that, it's really what's happening. To explain it is that you're actually putting the oar in the water, and then the oar is actually stationary at that point. Right?
Yes.
And then you're actually moving the boat past that point.
I've been doing this for 26 years, and I'm already I don't know what you're talking about.
In the water. So basically, like when I coach young athletes, I talk to them about like thinking about putting your oar, and there's a post that's standing there, right? So you put that oar in that post, and then you push the boat. The boat is being pushed past. And so what we're seeing now is those athletes really working hard, establishing their rhythm, and really moving their boats.
But how about that lead, Akil? Look at that lead coming around that turn.
Yeah, that's a big one. And this is an interesting bridge here. I was out on the course yesterday. I got to see it. And this is a great shot of the golf course, of High Point Golf Course, by the way.
I wish I was here an extra day. It looks wonderful. So we're actually getting close to this final turn then. Is that right?
Yeah. And this looks like it might be bow number
42.
42. And we had our start list here.
Yeah, what an incredible lead. This is probably about a minute, I'd say almost maybe a little bit more of a lead. And in singles rowing, that is a huge margin, a huge margin. I'm real impressed what this guy has been able to put on for the last 15 and a half minutes. He's putting on a clinic.
Yeah.
He's showing everybody else, like, I'm the guy. I'm the guy to beat. And I'm gonna look him up, because I'm hoping that he continues this this head racing season. Maybe he's gonna hopefully go to the head of the Charles and maybe the Hooch. I mean, Hooch is fairly local here. He can probably get down there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that we will see more from this young rower here, because that is a sizable lead that he has been able to create against the rest of the crews.
And we are not getting a good shot of the other rowers, but look at that rhythm. It's not changed at all. You were exactly right. As soon as you find that rhythm, you hold on and you stay within your boat, right? You stay within your own head. Like you said, I always worry about hitting a skag or something, man.
Yeah.
That's the one way to disrupt a race.
Well, that's the other thing about head races, is that you want to make it the shortest distance, right?
True.
You don't want to increase the difference. So whether or not how tight do you want to take that turn? But the other challenge here, as you can see out here, now we see bow number 38. We have from River City, we have Sweeney, it looks like. And you see a look over. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. The boats are getting in tight against each other. And
Thomas Lambert.
Thomas
Lambert's in the lead.
Thomas Lambert is in the lead. Sorry, my heat sheet is incorrect here. But we have Thomas Lambert.
Beaver Creek.
Yeah. And so, you have...
Wow, hold on. Akil, just turn around. Look at this guy. Look at this guy go.
And he's taking the rhythm up here.
He's doing it. Oh, wow. Absolutely impressive.
Yeah. But what we're seeing on the screen right now is a real battle shaping up here as these athletes come into this final stretch.
All right, so we talked about that margin, right? So for second and third place, that's still achievable, right? You're about a length and a half off. You have about, 200 meters to go, maybe 150 meters to go?
That's right. And there you can see on the screen, Thomas Lambert has passed the finish line. And we'll see what the other times are like. Here we have bow number 38. It looks as though that is the River City rower. That is Miles Sweeney coming through there, looking over his head.
So coming up to 18 and a half minutes. That is a long, grueling race, Akil.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And here we have another overhead shot. And this is what I'm saying. Like, right down to the finish line, these two athletes have been battling.
Look at that. Incredible.
There you go. You could see sort of that joy of finishing.
Oh, my gosh. And that you've been there, right? Like, your stomach is killing you. Your arms are exhausted. You're tired. But it all goes away, doesn't it?
It does.
As soon as you cross, you feel there's a different feeling.
It does indeed. And there you have another great overhead shot here. You have the duck in the background. And the question is, who is moving on who? And this is the finish of that race. And we're talking about strategy. What did you do? Are you emptying the tank now? What do you have left after this long, long race?
Yeah, you don't start to question until an hour after the race, right? You're just like, you start to you can review and rethink every single stroke you had in that entire race. Even at 18, 19, 20 minutes, every one of these athletes can tell you when it was tough or when it got easy for them. That's one thing I love about rowing. Like you become obsessed, right? And you can remember all these races. I'm sure that you can go back. You probably have a bunch of memories and races.
Indeed, I do. And I'm really excited for these young athletes. Here we have bow number 36 coming across. Great effort, still rowing strong, looking nice and long here as we go past the duck. And the Bethany Medical, the presenting sponsor here, along with the Lenny Peters Foundation. And they've done a great job here, put so much into making this a great regatta.
So we have the winners here coming through right in front of the crowd. I really need this crowd to get on their feet and cheer these young men. That is a very, very hard race. There he goes. Look at that. Look at the smile on his face.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well done, Thomas. You can see he's rowing in a boat. And there we go. Bow number 36 crosses the line. You saw the little USA on the boat, and sometimes boats from World Championships are sold, and those little markers. So maybe this is a sign that one day we'll be seeing him doesn't
that bring you so much joy? They have a bright future ahead of them, and competing already at this quality of rowing at such a young age it makes me excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do.
Yeah, and this is bow number 42, according to my list here. That is Butler from Charlotte.
So we're coming down to last two competitors here, rounding out the first event that we'll be commentating today. And it's just going to get faster as we go here, Akil. It's just going to keep on getting faster.
Yeah, especially with bigger boats.
I know.
So here we go, crossing the line, staying strong all the way through. That's one of the hardest things to do as well in these head races is, continuing the race, continuing to pull, even though you've heard that bell go off, just maintaining your race. And here you go. Here's a great shot of the crews here.
Yeah, right behind us.
Right behind us. You can see all the way. You see that Bethany medical sign right there as well. Thank you for all of the work that they do here in High Point and for supporting this regatta as well.
What a great start, right?
Yeah.
We got a nice long day ahead of us. Sun's out.
Yeah.
The energy. You start to see the crowd starting to really fill up here. And, we're going to see just high quality rowing here day in and day out, or all day long. And going back, like these guys right here, they are so tired, Akil. What a tough one.
So there's a strong baseline, and there's this is a great shot here. You can see not only the crews, but all of the fans along the way.
The fans have to understand the production level here is incredible. We've done races all over the world, and they're just doing something different here at North Point.
Yeah.
And Gene, the gentleman that's really put this thing together, is taking the greatness of all regattas all around the world, and he's bringing it right here to North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I just really hope the folks here can appreciate this high-quality event.
Yeah, and that's sort of something we spoke about before, and it's one of the special things about this regatta, and as you said, some of the head races throughout the season, is that you really do have the opportunity for athletes from all the way at the youth level through all the way at the elite level to really see each other. And I remember going to sort of my first head race and seeing some of the national team athletes and sort of like my aspirations and hopes of someday being there. And I think that that's a great motivator for some of these young athletes.
And for you, that was senior in high school. There's some freshmen here, right? There's some 13, 14-year-olds. They get a chance to see Duke University, right?
Yeah.
Old Dominion, and just these incredible rowers that have built their career. They'll
get to see Lauren O'Connor, U.S. single sculler.
Yes, I was about to say that.
They've got the opportunity to see athletes from over the world. They'll get to see Tabia, I think it is. Tabia.
Germany.
Schindigel, from Germany. And then Katerina Maestrenko will be here representing the Ukraine.
I didn't see real high-quality rowing until a few years in. And one of the things our coach did at Mainland High School in South Jersey, he did take us to these bigger events. And he said, as a young athlete, he said, don't worry about the race. Worry about what's around you. See what there is. See the other athletes. And he gave us a chance to walk around and just get a sense of the scale of rowing and what it could bring to our futures. And I encourage the athletes and even the parents here to explore. Go see these high quality athletes and really understand what the sport could do for you.
Yeah, they don't bite.
They don't bite. Now we have another race coming down right next to us, and what do we have here, Akil?
So next up after the men's single, we have let me get my event list up here. So after the men's single,
so this is the U17.
We have the U17 single coming up,
and they're finishing up pretty. And again, the quality of rowing is impressive.
Right
17-year-old young men here, 35, 36 strokes a minute, finishing strong after a grueling 20-minute race.
Yeah, and you could hear that first sort of horn go off, indicating that the race has completed for the athlete finishing up. And the good thing about that is, like, as a competitor in these head races, if this was started sort of the normal, just one after the other style, you're getting close to that finish, and that's